Welcome to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skabowski of RE/MAX Lakes. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning. And, we've been talking for the past couple of shows just about buying in a seller's market. And here we are in fall. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And
a lot of stuff to chat about, absolutely. Yes. So, buying in a seller's market, and who would have thought 3 years ago that we would have a 3-year-long seller's market. If I went back and replayed the shows going back in 17 and 18, there's no way I would have thought in 20 we'd have still been dealing with this.
Mm-hmm. No.
Price appreciation going up 6, 7, 8% a year. Some areas 10% a year. It's not sustainable, and I'm just going to keep saying.
Right, and then you throw COVID into the mix.
Then you throw COVID into the mix, absolutely. Right. So, but there is a strategy for buyers if you're in this seller's market. You can still be successful buying in a seller's market, but there's some strategies that I would recommend. Hey, it's my opinion. I'll give it to you. You're welcome to use it or not. But if you're looking at buying a house and it's in that competitive thing, the theme over the last couple of weeks is be ready in advance. So I'll continue that with be ready.
Yeah.
Right. That's bottom line. But put your best offer out first when it comes to buying in a seller's market. Don't try to negotiate and beat the seller down if you're in competition. I mean, it just makes sense, doesn't it?
Right. It does. I mean. Yeah, you're not going to be able to go in there and do what your grandfather did.
Right.
Hey, I'm gonna say 20% cheaper than listing price or 15% cheaper. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
In this market.
It isn't. When you're in a competitive situation, what I recommend to buyers is go out with your best offer first, and if you win, great, and if you don't, move on. But don't lose a house because you were trying to save $500. Now, I know it's $500, and I hate to lose a penny, let alone spend $500 extra.
Right.
But the fact is, if this is truly the home that you want, don't be short-sighted and let that $500 get in your way of winning the house, winning the bid, the competitive situation.
Yeah, because unless you're paying cash, and if you're financing it, it's going to be financed over 15, 30 years or whatever the terms are. So $500 is pretty small.
It's small to you over time.
Yeah.
To a seller, it's real today.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's $500 out of their pocket today. If you're financing, like you mentioned, it's monthly payments over 360 months if you're doing 30-year financing.
Yeah.
So it's minuscule. I had a loan officer I used to work with. He'd been in the business a long time, and what he would tell buyers is, don't lose it over a pizza a month.
Yeah.
Right. Bottom line, don't lose this transaction over the cost of a pizza.
Yeah.
Now again, the cost of pizzas have gone up, but there's always deals, right? You can always get a special. But basically, do your best offer first. Don't expect to receive a counter back. So again, you're in a competitive situation, and your agent will know if that's the case. If the house is on the market one day, and it's in that competitive price range, which in our market it used to be anything $150,000 and down. Now again, I'm showing my age, I guess, or the time that I've been in the business. Now it's like anything $250,000 and down is a competitive situation. If it's in a specific neighborhood, if it's something that's got acreage, COVID has brought up 4-bedroom homes being at a premium because people who were in 3-bedroom homes on lockdown for months needed an office space to work from home.
True.
The kids were going to school at home. There were e-learning, all of those things. So we had seen a trend towards home sizes decreasing. We were getting out of the McMansions of the early 2000s where, hey, let's just buy the biggest house we can possibly afford even though we only use half of it. People had gotten real and said, well, okay, maybe we don't need 4,000 square feet. Maybe 2,000 is enough for us. Well, we're starting to see that bump back up. 4-bedroom homes are at a premium right now.
Wow.
And the reason is people want a home office or a space where they can homeschool if they need to. And COVID has driven that.
I've never even thought about it. I've never even thought about that, but that's a very good point.
Well, so we're seeing it. So, again, it used to be just price, and real estate is not only price, location, 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 for years and years was the standard. Now I would say it's price, 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 location, and we're kind of going back to that location and some features. That 4-bedroom versus a 3-bedroom, something with a basement versus something on a crawl space, just additional space where if you're trapped again, and you're tied in to where whatever the whole country locks down and they say, you can't leave your home, people want a space to go to. And folks are looking forward, or looking ahead to that. Shouldn't say looking forward to it. They're looking ahead thinking about that and their home buying decisions. So if you're in that competitive situation, don't be, penny wise and pound foolish. If the house meets everything that you would like, if it's in the right spot, if the price range is right, the bedroom layouts are correct, if all of those things that we look at when we look at homes fit for you, don't lose it because you're trying to, follow the game plan from something from 1984, because it will not work in today's market.
And your agent can help you with that.
Your agent will guide you through that, at least give you some advice along the way.
Right. Okay. So coming up here after the break, so I do want to talk to you about it because it is a seller's market. It's been a seller's market for a long time. I want to ask you about, is that pendulum? Do you feel like that pendulum is swinging? And it is also the fall. So let's talk about, buying in the fall.
Sure.
Okay.
Will do.
All right. We're coming up here next. You're listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Welcome back, listening to Real Estate in Real Time. I'm your host, Woody Zimmerman, here with Mark Skowalski of RE/MAX Lakes. And we've been talking about buying in a seller's market. We also been talking about how long the seller's market has been going on, like 3 years.
It's been going on, 3 years, and maybe it's only 2.5, but it started back in 17. I mean, it just went nuts. And it's continued. We see ebbs and flows. Right now, I would say we're a little bit slow time. But that's normal this time of year. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving, the holidays. It tends to slow down. The peak selling season is March through September, October.
Okay.
So we're out of that range now, but still, things that are going on the market, there's a lot of activity. I listed something this week. Shoot, we've had 7 showings on it.
Wow.
It's a house on 1.5 acres in Warsaw. We've had a boatload of showings in a day. So there's still activity. There are still buyers out there. So are we starting to see that shift to a more balanced market? I don't know. And I don't think that anybody can predict that right now. It's so hit or miss, and definitely real estate is local. If you're looking at the national trends, they're saying that it is slowing, but they expect the real estate market to be strong through 21.
Okay.
What does being strong mean? Does that mean price appreciation continues to go up? Does that mean that the number of homes that are on the market, increase? Does it mean that the number of buyers that are out there start to fall so that the inventory shortage that we've all been experiencing, I mean, that's a national trend.
Right.
There is no inventory. So for sellers who are thinking, hey, I need to sell, but I want to buy, they don't want to sell because they don't know where they're going to go to yet.
Right.
So, I think gradually we will swing to that more balanced market. Are we there yet? I don't know that I can definitively say that.
But you said something before the break, and that is 4-bedroom homes are a premium right now because the adults are looking for like a home office at home. And the thing is that we are living in this COVID world, and what we have found out is people can work remotely.
Yes.
And I think that's going to stick around.
I think you're hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah.
That is a trend that is going to continue, and maybe we'll listen to this show in 3 years and say, did 4-bedroom homes, was the demand still out there? I really think that's the case. I think it is going to be there, and the technology improvements that we have, therefore the importance of high-speed internet. I get asked more and more and more, especially with more rural homes, can I get internet out here? And I know there are options. I know REMC is working on providing broadband throughout the county. At least there's a proposal for that. They're working on it. But I think people want some more space. You know, in COVID, that's always been there, but I'm feeling it from buyers that I'm working with. They want not only more space in the home, they don't want to be right next door to somebody. You know, they're not right on top of each other.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that throughout the country, people leaving cities. You know, if you watch the national media, they're talking about that. People are going to suburbia. They want to get out of the big cities,
right,
and move out into the suburbs. Part of that is the size of the home that you can buy, affordability. But also, you don't have people crawling all over you. You know, I mean, I go and I see my daughter in Cincinnati, and it's a totally different place than where we live. You know, here a quarter-acre lot is actually a pretty small lot. Where in Cincinnati, that'd be huge. You'd be living large.
Sure.
You know, with a quarter-acre lot. I mean, these houses are stacked right on top of each other.
Yeah.
It's not the way that we live here in Kosciuszko County. You know, Warsaw, North Webster, Syracuse, Claypool, Indiana. It's not the way that we live.
You know, I was just yesterday, I've got an aunt that lives in Queens, New York, and so I was on Google Maps, and I'm going up and down her street, and I'm just looking at all the houses. It's row houses.
Yeah.
And so you're right on top of one another, and it's just, I couldn't imagine living, especially this year, being by all those people. Right. That would just, freak me out.
Well, and I think that's where the COVID thing comes in. If we're going to have to be socially distanced and separated, I think you're going to see that trend continue. So I really believe that we are going to have more and more folks looking for those little bit bigger homes, a little bit more space in between. Doesn't mean that neighborhoods that have got city, there's a lot of features that people are looking for, city utilities, that they don't want to live out in the country and be on septic.
Yeah.
They want access, they want to be closer to things. They just don't want to be right on top of their neighbor.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to continue to see that, and it's too early to tell right now what the trend for next year is going to be. I think as we come out of the gate in March, April next year, that'll really be the indication. If the market doesn't take off as hot as what it did this year, then we'll be having a different discussion. We're probably swinging to that balance.
All right, so we're slowing down a little bit as we are in the fall, but is it a good time to buy now?
It's still a great time for buyers. The interest rates are really low. Yes, inventory is tight, but if this continues, if price appreciation continues, take advantage of it now before the prices are 6% higher next year, I guess. And again, you always have to evaluate, is it the right time for me? Am I ready? Am I prepared? Bottom line, you need to be preparing now if you're thinking about buying in the spring.
Okay.
But today is definitely a good time to buy. Those interest rates, unprecedented lows.
Mortgage originators have been very, very busy because of refis, but are they going to be able to squeeze you in?
And initially we were jammed up, but the last few transactions I've done, the lenders have adapted to it. The title companies have adapted to it. The appraisers have adapted. We're right on track. I had one 30-day close, and back in September, we were pushing things out 10 days. We're back right on track, closing them in 30, 35 days.
Wow, that is amazing.
We're an adaptable market. Let's put it that way.
That is true, though. I mean, that is very, very, radio's like that, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they said TV was going to kill radio, and it never did, and the internet's killing radio. No, we adapt.
Yeah, we adapt to market conditions. It happens.
Yep. Real estate and radio, very, very similar. Okay, hey, Mark, your contact information?
Sure. Websites, lakes-realtors.com. Phone numbers, 574-834-1233.
Awesome. Thanks for the information. You've been listening to Real Estate in Real Time. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.